Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the next 6 months. We're just going to jump right in here, Sag. You have this mending card and this observer card. So you could be going through a healing over this next 6 months, or right now. You have the World, the Two of Cups, and the Five of Cups. So you definitely could be healing from like some sort of situation where there are regrets, whether that's on your side or the other person's side. But again, I feel like you're healing very quickly. I also feel like you could be observing that a past person has regrets, but as I always say, too bad, so sad. I feel like you're kind of like moving forward. You know what you want now. I feel like you're very focused as well. You have this wolf spirit. That wolf spirit kind of represents being very focused as well. It says turn your knowledge into wisdom on the card, but it does represent also kind of like being very focused on your future, which you have the Three of Wands right here. So it's like I feel like you're much more focused on things that just work. Like that's what's popping into my head. I think that in life, we all have to learn that lesson that we can't spend time on like people, places, and things that just don't want to work. And I don't mean like literally working. And sure, we'll take all three of these cards at the end. But it's like some people, like in relationships, it's like they just don't want relationships to work in the first place. And that's a tough lesson to learn, I think, but, when it becomes obvious that that's what they want, is that they just want to be difficult, then, I think we have to like move on. And for whatever reason, it's like, I'm wondering, I feel like you're looking at those types of things, it's like you're looking at those things that just don't work or don't even want to work in the first place. It's like you can, no matter how much work you put into it, nothing changes. The situation stays the same, whether it's a job, a business, a relationship. And I feel like you're saying, you know what? There are plenty of things that I have seen that, that want to work. There are plenty of people who will invest in relationships. There are plenty of businesses that will invest in me and pay me my worth or my value. And I really feel like that's what you're observing here. You're finding your perfect matches. And I feel like saying matches, not just match with the Two of Cups. Two of Cups, I'll show you here. This to me can be you and your higher self. So it doesn't have to be another person. And I feel like you're coming into alignment is also really where this reading is going. It's like saying you're no longer trying to like force something to work. Again, I'm not even just talking about love here. I'm talking about everything in your life. I really see you kind of like carefully looking at just every single thing that you do in your life and saying like, it's like, it's not, I don't even think you're being petty. It's like some people I think get to a point where they're just like, well, I'm just not going to even try anything. I don't think that's where you are. It's like I feel like you're willing to put in a certain amount of effort into new things that enter into your life, new jobs, new businesses, whatever. But if you start to sense that whatever the situation is doesn't want to work, I feel like you're moving on from it. And so pretty straightforward as always with you, Sagittarius. No other sign gets readings like this that are just like very cut and dry is what I would say. You have the Five of Cups. I feel like you're seeing someone who has regrets, right? And, but really it's not even worth mentioning. I feel like you see this as over because we go to the Death card and you're focusing on something new. Two aces is definitely something new. So, I feel if this is love, you're definitely onto something bigger and better, something that's a victory, something new. It could be anything else as well. New job, new business, new home, whatever. With the World card, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Something wasn't willing to move forward, plain and simple. Knight of Pentacles is the only knight in the deck that isn't willing to kind of like move forward. I don't always consider him a bad card, but just, intuitively, he can represent someone who is just not making any moves or any movements in a situation, or someone who's trying to, like hold the situation up is what I'm getting here. So if this was a love person in the past, I feel like they just weren't willing to, it's almost like they weren't willing to be understood. It's like, I don't know if you've ever dealt with a person, I dealt with a person once where they were always saying to me, like, how they felt like they were being misunderstood by people. But I finally got to this point where I started getting annoyed, like just annoyed as shit with this person because they were never trying to be understood. You get what I'm saying? And that's like what I get here is like, I feel like maybe you've dealt with a person who had like certain complaints, but they never tried to be understood. They never, or if that was their complaint, or they never even tried to whatever, right? Whatever the case may be. It's like enough to drive you crazy is what I'm getting. With the Two of Cups, you have the Page of Wands. You're on to something new. You want new adventures. bigger and better things, plain and simple. Page of Wands, very excited. He's very enthusiastic. He knows he deserves an adventure or something exciting to come into his life, and that's where you're at, plain and simple. Like I said, very simple first row. With the Five of Cups, yeah, I mean, you're probably heartbroken. You could still be sad about this, but I also feel that you are excited for the future. Like I said, and even, sorry, I didn't want to do that, but that was the Eight of Pentacles right there. So I feel like you're ready to put in the work towards something new. And because it's got to be better than this, whatever this situation was. You have this pig spirit. It says, use your mind wisely. You have this wolf spirit. I was getting focus, but it says, turn your knowledge into wisdom. Again, it can represent focus. You have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is my card of laser-like focus. Ace of Swords to me says you need to be super focused, but that pig also has wings. So it kind of says, like, there's a saying, when pigs fly. And, that wolf, it almost looks like it has wings under its eyes. And so I feel like something is really taking off in your life, or will be taking off in your life. And it's going to be once you let something go. Because you have the Eight of Swords, the Death card, and the Three of Wands. Some of you, it's like I don't really feel like you're holding on to a past situation, but I feel like you're maybe ready to take a leap of faith away from a situation that you still haven't taken a leap of faith away from. Three of Wands to me says, what are you waiting for? It can represent waiting for the perfect moment to do something when there never will be a perfect moment to do anything. So I feel it's time for you to take a leap of faith away if you're still holding on to something, or if you've been waiting for something. It's kind of weird because, like, for the most part, I feel like you're ready. Like, I feel even in your own head, you're moving away from something, but there might just still be those moments where you kind of hold on to the past, or you don't fully invest in something. And I feel like you need to kind of like do that, give something like a full effort here. And I even feel that, again, I'm not calling, I want to make sure that you understand that I'm not calling you out here, Sagittarius, right? But it's like someone contacted me, and I don't want to say any names or anything like that. It was another reader. And they were saying, I feel like my channel should be doing a lot better than it actually is. But when I looked at their channel, they like weren't doing like a quarter of the amount of work that I do, right? I'm not calling this person out or anything like that because they watch me. So, to that person, who you are. I'm not calling you out. But again, I told them this in person, right? When I met with them, is that it's like if you really want to do this, you have to make the full commitment. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I'm getting that vibe right here where it's like there's something that I feel like you could be just so good at. Total victory right here, going up to this. But I feel like you need to make the full commitment. And I know it can be scary to make a full commitment. This person had a lot of concerns that I've heard other people like, what if I spend all this time and no one watches? What if I, this, that, the other thing? Totally get it, right? But it's like, but at the same time, it's like the act of making the full commitment, the act of doing the full shebang, right? That's what's going to make you successful. That's what's going to lead to success. So if you're afraid to like fully invest in something, I feel like you need to, because that's where like your success is going to come from. It's like from, not just dipping your toes in the water. I feel like you have to like dive into the deep end, cannonball, belly flop into the deep end, right? You have the Death card. You're in for a change. I feel like you're ready to change as well. I feel very specifically on this Death card as well that you are ready for a change. Like those are the words that I'm getting there. So the Death card can represent a major transformation, but again, for you, I feel like you're just ready to change. You have the Eight of Swords. Again, maybe you need to get help from a person. So again, if you have an expert, or if you know an expert, or if you know a person, who can help you, or who you can ask questions to, like in some area of your life, I feel like it would be worth getting their help, or it would be worth, getting their attention or something like that. So, I definitely feel that here, and, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid, like that person reached out to me and I was more than happy to help them. So, don't be afraid to ask for help is kind of like what I'm getting at here. But let's see what is going on for you. And sorry, this deck is all, I know I've messed this deck up so many times in these readings, it's all messed up. With the Eight of Swords, you have the King of Swords. I mean, literally, you cannot make this stuff up. I mean, if you've been watching me for a long time, you know that the King of Swords is my card of the mentor. I always say with the King of Swords that if you have a problem, find an expert. The King of Swords literally represents someone who can solve your problems very, very quickly. So don't be afraid to ask a person for help. Don't be afraid to, meet someone new, or reach out to a mentor or something like that. I was literally, why do you think I told you that story? With the Death card, you have the Knight of Swords. No going back to the past. Again, Knight of Swords, he's normally going towards the past this way. And I do feel like this is saying no rushing back. If you made the decision to move on, I feel like you need to stick to your decisions and stick to your decision to move on. With the Three of Wands, you have the King of Pentacles. Yes, you want something permanent. I feel if you want love, for example, you want someone who is stable, secure. And I do feel there could be someone stable and secure coming in for you. And it could be an Earth sign with the King of Pentacles, for sure. But I feel like this is what you're looking for. And I really feel, again, focus is important here. With these two cards, the Wolf and the Ace of Swords. So if you want something, but then you settle for something that's less, then you're not going to get it. So I feel like this is saying, like, no settling. I feel like you need to go for exactly what you want. You have this card that says, try not to resist the changes that come your way. Don't delay the inevitable. You have this home card. It says, invest in a home business or making money from home. Get out of the rat race and become your own boss. Are you kidding? There you go. I feel like I've been saying this to you for like 2 weeks now. I think this started showing up in May, that some of you could be like working from home or, doing something from home. Now that I think about it, you might have had this card or the home card or whichever one. I don't know. My camera's reversed. This one right here. So it's like, I feel like you could have had a person or had an idea to work from home or something, or had an opportunity, and I definitely feel it would be good for you. You have the Ace of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands. Definitely could be love coming in for you. I feel like there could be love communication coming in for you. So if you want love, I would definitely say open up to communication. Could be a person online as well with the Ace of Swords. So it could be that you meet this person through online dating or something. Again, could be an air sign or earth sign. Those are the two that stand out to me. You have the King of Swords, and you also have a bunch of earth in your reading. So, air or earth with air with earth, whatever. Take it how it resonates. But it definitely could be a person. And I feel that this will be a true love situation. I also feel this is encouraging a new beginning because two aces. You have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles says work hard, play hard, so make sure you're balancing things out. This could also be part of the problem as well that you're having. Like if you are trying to make a full commitment to a business or to an idea, like the example I gave you, you could be having a problem with time. But I think if you really kind of like focus on it and, I feel like there are ways that you could find the time, is what I would say. Or there are things that you could do to kind of be able to put in a better, like much more of an effort or something like that. So, and again, I'm not saying you're not putting in effort. There's definitely, Two of Pentacles is a hard work card. So I feel like you're putting in the work. What I say is like, are you working on the right things? Like if you're one of those people trying to build a business and you have a job, but you're trying to work on a side business, are you following the 80-20 rule? Are you putting the, 80% of your effort into the 20% that gives you your results? That's what I would be doing. I'd be doubling down on what works and getting rid of the rest. You have the Seven of Wands here. Seven of Wands says, when you know that you know, then you know, and you will be successful. It's a card of believing something so deeply that you make it happen, whatever it is. So I feel like it is time for you to put in the work to kind of like make things happen in your life, because that's what's going to lead to the most success. Seven of Wands says we really have to believe something deep down in our soul to make something work. So that's what I would do here. Let's see. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Are you kidding? Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, my two favorite divine counterparts. So if you're attracted in love, I love this because these are two people who are very serious about each other, two people who want something permanent, two people who want the same thing, basically. So it doesn't matter what sign it is. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Cups. Definitely could be love coming in for you. I feel like this could be a person who either you're going to message or they're going to message you. Could be someone sliding into your DMs or something here with that Ace of Swords for sure, or like online dating or something like that. Knight of Cups is Knight in Shining Armor. I do feel like you could be attracting someone who's busy or you're busy. I get a lot of busyness here. It could be two people who are just super freaking busy. So, take it how it resonates. I would be careful of like, having someone getting you off your path. Like if you're working towards something, again, don't let someone distract you either. Make sure you're doing this in balance, right? With the Seven of Wands, you have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands about taking the lead in your life. It's also about believing that things can be different. Normally, I'll just tell you, normally the Two of Wands, he's standing at the top of a castle. He's got the whole world in his hands. The card itself kind of says that he rushed to a finish line. He accomplished something too quickly, and he didn't enjoy the journey. And so now he thinks that that all accomplishments are the same. But he doesn't realize he has the whole world in his hands. There's so much more that he can experience in life, but he has to get out into the world to do it. So don't be afraid to have new experiences. You have three cards at the end here. You have this crab. It says, consider the unconventional, take a sideways approach. You have this abalone shell. It says, healing from the inside out. And you have this conch shell. It says, messages from beyond communication. There's definitely communication coming in for you because you have that Ace of Swords. And, again, with the crab, by the way, with this card here, Pretty much every single person this for these 6 month readings has had something about needing to be flexible, or just needing to realize that there's more than one way of doing things. So I would definitely stay open to the possibilities. And you have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords represents only seeing one way of doing things when there are many. So don't be afraid of like coming up with different ways of doing things. You have the Ace of Swords. I do feel like some of you could be experiencing a sacrifice or sacrificing something in your life to have something better. There's a palm frond right here, and palm fronds in the tarot can represent a sacrifice. There's an olive branch right here, which can represent an offer of peace, but it can also just represent abundance. And I definitely do get the feeling here on the Ace of Swords that you could be like cutting something out and experiencing something much better in your life, or you could be getting something, it's like you're getting something new that you actually want. So don't be afraid to let things go. You have the King of Wands. I kind of feel like this is your energy, even though this would be Aries. Doesn't matter. I feel like you are showing up as the King of Wands in this reading, and I feel like it's putting you in a position of power and strength. I feel like you're super confident. I feel like people sense your confidence as well, which could be good. Like, this could be good for business or, whatever. It's like, I'm not saying you're faking anything, but what I am saying is usually if you're confident about what your capabilities are, then that's great for getting a job or for selling something in business or whatever it is that you're doing. You have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups has come up for everyone as well. I think we are in a time of the Seven of Cups because we have Neptune and Pisces. Seven of Cups is like, it's not good or bad. To me, I actually kind of like the Seven of Cups as being spoiled for choice. But what I will say is that with Neptune and Pisces, we can have a lot of fantasies, but, the fantasy feels really good. And here's the problem with that is that we never bring it down to earth with Neptune and Pisces. The trick with Neptune and Pisces is to have a fantasy, like dreaming about a business or a relationship that you want or whatever it is that you want, and then taking the steps to bring it down to earth. The problem with the Seven of Cups in Neptune and Pisces is that, there are bad things in some of these cups. So we can start focusing on the bad instead of focusing on what we have to gain, right? So I feel like you need to focus on the right things and make sure you're focusing on the gain, not the potential losses of some sort of like opportunity. Let's see. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Devil. You are cutting the devil out of your life. I'm telling you right now, if you're cutting a person out of your life, totally worth it and definitely a good idea because this person could be the devil. I do feel for some of you, it could be a Capricorn, though, that's coming in for you, or a person with Capricorn in their chart or something. But for the most part, I feel like this is what you're sacrificing is toxic person or toxic people, and you're kind of moving on to bigger and better things. I see a lot of people, there's a lot of astrology for removing toxicity over the next couple years, so wouldn't really surprise me. With the King of Wands, you have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups is a turnaround. I always say that the Six of Cups kind of represents a gift from the universe, and the gift we usually receive from the Six of Cups is a turnaround, meaning, we've been bumping up against obstacles, we hit the Six of Cups, and it kind of represents the removal of those obstacles. And with the Seven of Cups, you have the Three of Wands. What are you waiting for? You need to take some sort of leap of faith here towards... I wouldn't even say it's a leap of faith. I feel like you just need to get working on something that you have been hoping to either manifest or create in your life. Three of Wands is a lot of expansion. This is giving me the vibes that something could literally change your life. Having a business could change your life. One of my favorite books of all time, The War of Art, by Stephen Pressfield. People always correct me and they're like, it's the art of war. No, I am talking about The War of Art, not the art of war. And I'm talking about the book by Pressfield. He always says that a lot of the excuses we come up with are exactly the reason we need to do something. So, it's like he brings up the example of maybe you have children, but you want to start a business. A lot of people will be like, oh, I'll wait till my children graduate high school. It's like, no, you should do it right now because you could change your children's life right now. Or people will say, oh, I'll wait till this happens. And again, I kind of get that feeling here. I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying, now is the time. I feel like whatever you're saying is the reason. And I'm not saying that children don't take up a lot of time or anything like that. Trust me, I get it. But, I don't have children, but, I have a 32-year-old brother, 33, I don't know how old he is. It doesn't matter, right? I have to take care of him like a child, basically, so I totally get it. And what I would say here is it's like you're going to have to, it's not going to be easy, but if you do it, you will be happy that you did it. It'll change your life. You have this constancy card. This is a card of wanting something predictable and constant, which we already know because you have the King and Queen of Pentacles. So there's something permanent and constant coming into your life. Could be a predictable relationship, predictable in a good way. You have this Soldier card. I really like this card. It's like a card of taking those steps to be successful, and it's about being disciplined. But I don't even think you have to be that disciplined. If you could just make those 1% improvements every single day towards something you want, it's going to happen quicker than you think. You have this faux card. I would be careful of people in your life, is what I would say. Anyone you get a weird vibe from, I'd be careful. It is weird. Like all three fire signs had something, about a false person. You have that devil here. And again, I always tell people, like, don't be paranoid. It's easy to get paranoid with tarot readings. And I always tell people, tarot shouldn't be making you feel paranoid or scared or worried or any of that stuff. So if it does, you should probably stop watching it, number one. Number two, I would say is, like, it's not like that. I would just pay attention. If someone seems toxic, they probably are. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And I would just pay attention to that. You have the sweetheart card. Everyone's had this card, which is crazy. There definitely could be love. Again, I said at the beginning of the year that I thought the end of this year would be much better for love, meaning like the second half of the year. So, there could be a real sweetheart coming in for you here. And finally, you have this widower card. It could be a widower that's coming in for you. But I also feel like you could just be grieving the loss of something, even though there's something much better coming in for you here, Sag. So, pretty interesting reading. I like where it's going, actually. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your year.